Where are we, H?
Back at the caravan.
Home sweet bloody home, eh? How good. So we just rolled back in. It's a little bit full in here, so we're going to just stay where we are tonight, camped up next to the hosts, who've done a great job of keeping an eye on the van for us. We're both knackered, been a big couple of days.
You've got some editing to do.
I do have a lot of editing to do.
A lot of editing to do.
Keep producing all this content. We've got to edit it at some point and make it into some sort of viewable format. All right, we'll get this sorted and get into the van, eh?
Yep. I'm having pasta for dinner. I'll see how much power we've got, how much solar we've had since we've been away. I'll get some keys.
Grab some keys.
Caught behind Venetian blinds, out of reach for the city lights. This ain't where I belong. Hey, look at me, man, what I become. I've been running east, looking for a sunset, digging deep since '99. What I thought was gone was sitting in my pocket in plain sight all along.
Morning. All right, my turn to drive this morning. I've got the van hitched up and I'm going to do some forward driving. So hopefully Simon can give me some pointers. It's a bit rough out here, so yeah, just taking the van for a cruise. Let's do this.
We are off on a little expedition this morning.
Thanks.
Today's about the Finke Desert Race. So we're staying out of Alice because it's madness in there at the moment with the race being on. I think it's probably the biggest year that Finke's ever had. It obviously got cancelled last year. So this year everyone's pretty excited about it. We sort of didn't plan to be here for Finke. That was a bit of an accident, but we thought while we're here we might as well go check it out. So what is the Finke Desert Race? Well, it's a desert race. It's cars, buggies, big trophy trucks, the whole box and dice. If you think like the Dakar but smaller. So it's a 240 kilometre track that goes from Alice Springs to Finke. And then they turn around, so they raced that yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday. They raced that yesterday. And then today they turn around and race back again. So the first of the trophy trucks left Finke about 15 minutes ago. So we might miss the first few big trucks, but we should catch most of the rest of the action. The bikes don't leave till about 11:30 from Finke, so we'll see how long the kids last and how long we last, how long we hang around. We're really just going out for a bit of a look. A couple of weeks ago, when we stayed at the Heritage Caravan Park in Alice, before we went out to the West MacDonnell Ranges, we caught up with a bloke named Brad. He's the manager of the caravan park there, and he's actually racing in the Finke on his bike. So Brad Wilkinson, I might throw in a quick interview here that we did with Brad, a little bit more about the race. We thought we'd have a quick chat with Brad about just a little bit about the race, I guess, from behind the scenes that a lot of people might not know about. So the race itself goes from Alice?
Yeah, from Alice itself down to Finke or Apachula, so it's a 30k race down, and then you race back the next day.
So on a bike, you're obviously not doing that on one tank?
No, you've got, so depending on how you do it, we've got crews that stop, we'll do it a two-stop strategy, and then you've also got the club fuel for guys that don't have the teams and stuff to help them out, and they'll just do the club fuel, which is normally 3 stops.
So your stops are important then in your total time too?
Oh yeah. So it's all about, one, you got to find your team and not mess up and go past them, and then and then you got to rely on your guys being ready for you as well, and quick fuel and goggle swap, and away you go.
So what sort of speeds are you hitting on the track in the bike?
Anywhere from 150 to kind of 165, but you average around the 100k, just under the 100k mark.
Yep.
Once obviously you get to the bigger whoops and stuff, it backs off a fair bit, but then there's plenty of high speed stuff out there too.
Pretty impressive when you think you're off road on mostly sandy sort of country.
Yep.
A lot of corrugations, a lot of big hills, corners, everything. So
yeah.
it's fairly straight overall, isn't it? But there are some.
Yeah, you've got a kind of a fair few sweeping corners, and then a couple of ones that sneak up on you that are a bit tighter. A few rises, like everybody thinks that the desert's flat, but it's not. It's actually fairly hilly out there too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's quick, and the biggest thing you got to watch for is the sharp edges and the bull dust potholes that you don't see. So that's the danger side of it.
So, which is the same when you're doing any sort of outback road, even if you're driving a car, isn't it? Really, I mean, it can change quickly the surface you're on.
It does, and it does. It changes. Like we can ride it the day before the race starts, and then once all the trucks and buggies and quads and stuff are being through as well, it's different, and then it's different on the way back the next day too.
What would you say is the real draw of the Finke? Like, what brings so many people out here? What's so special about the Finke? What makes it so unique that brings so many people out here?
I think just the logistics of it all, and how hard it is. Like the fact that you are out in the middle of nowhere. Pre-running side of things is really hard. Like you're out there, you do runs down in your car, you're burying fuel drums or you're hiding them behind trees, and just so as you can go down and do some practice. And then the race itself, it's such a huge, like it's Alice Springs' biggest event. It brings the most people to the town. The people, the volunteers, everything that's involved, it's just a massive effort. And then the scenery and stuff's all just a bonus. Like if you're not choking on dust and you actually get to look and enjoy it, even just the ride down, like the different kind of backgrounds and backdrops that you see, it's amazing. And
it's one of those races really, isn't it, where just finishing it is a massive achievement.
So I've done, this will be my third attempt. First one broke a knee and didn't finish, and then the second one I finished, but fractured a vertebrae and a fibula 5 weeks prior, and still raced it and finished it. So it was kind of, so I'm one from 2, and hopefully I can be 2 from 3.
So if people want to follow along, because by the time this goes live, the race will have already finished. So if they want to look you up and see how you went,
just on Facebook, the Finke, or even on their website, the Finke Desert Race. I've also got just my Instagram and stuff as well. So just Brad Wilkinson 888. And then for the race though this year, I'll be 786 is the race number. And hopefully the bike survives and I survive, and I'll be happy with the top 20 this year, and I'd like to win the class. But look, anything can happen. All it takes is a bad qualify or just a heap of traffic and dust and some silly mistakes, and it's all over.
All right, mate, thanks for the chat.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
thanks mate. We also met Kids Club Racing the other day in at the Servo in Alice Springs. So Corey and the team, hopefully they went well in the race as well. So quick little drive out this morning. It's about 7:30 in the morning. We've just left the caravan at Stuart's well. So we're just going to punch out this drive, and we'll see you at the track. Here he comes. You can hear him coming. Listening on the UHF, you can listen into the race control and their communications with the obviously officials and that along the track. It sounds like north of us here, so we're at about the 80k mark from Alice, and about 35k's from Alice. It sounds like there's been a pretty big accident, and they're saying it sounds like spectators have been hit and a few people have been pretty seriously injured. Yeah, but it's a bit unnerving.
What's the race control?
Particularly being spectators, I think that just hits you when you're sitting here and we're only 20 metres off the track, like most people are. A lot of people are closer than us, and apparently up where the accident is, there's a lot more sand dunes and stuff, and so I think it's a pretty interesting part of the track to watch apparently, so there's a lot of spectators there and they hang around there a lot, so yeah, hoping for the best, but it's just a bit, like the races and everything's continuing for now. I think they're still sort of figuring out exactly what's happened, and yeah, we'll keep you posted, but it's been pretty exciting up until that point. It's been really good. Yeah, like I've watched a lot of this stuff on telly and different YouTube channels and stuff, this off-road racing, and it's like any racing, it looks good on telly, but it's 10 times better in real life. It sounds pretty serious, this accident, but I'm just hoping it's one of those ones that sort of looks worse than it is when they first report it, but we'll see.
Stand by, OSV 14. Bushfires race control. We're at the 173 kilometre mark.
Righto, so we made it back to the van. We left the Finke race about a bit over an hour ago. So that incident that we sort of talked about before sort of continued to unfold. And at the time when we left the track, it was uncertain what was going to happen. They'd stopped the race not long after we spoke to camera last. We were listening to the radio and they stopped the race. They stopped all the cars where they were. Our original plan was to hang around and wait for the bikes to come through. The bikes are the last category to come through. And you know, we knew Brad was riding in that and we were keen to see him. But it sort of became obvious that yeah, even restarting the race was looking unlikely, and if they were going to restart it, it was going to be quite a delay. So reports are that a car or a buggy left the track, a race car, and collided with 3 spectators, and it seems likely, or at the moment the reports are that one person was actually killed and 2 seriously injured. So it's pretty horrific. It's a pretty crazy sort of first exposure for us to off-road racing. Like, these incidents aren't that common, but yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's affected us obviously, you know, like we were out there just having a good time like everyone else and taking our kids along, and I guess it just reminds you how easily things can go wrong. I sort of spoke about a bit about this before, but yeah, we just sort of took some time just to get our heads straight and sort of think about what we wanted to say, but yeah, affected us both a bit, and you know, we sort of, you know, you don't really, I guess, think about those sorts of risks when you go out to watch an event like that.
Yeah, maybe if you were one of the competitors, you certainly have thought about it, but as a spectator, I wouldn't have thought that I wouldn't have put that in my risk assessment of going to watch the race.
You just think so much for the driver, for the family of the person who's deceased. You think, you know, the family of the injured people, all the people in the immediate area that, you know, would have witnessed it. The ramifications and the shockwave from this is going to affect so many people's lives. We're just going to probably chill out here this afternoon and yeah, take some time to think about it. Good morning. Today we're going to go and we're going to go to Rainbow Valley, which is just up the road from here. We're going to leave the van here again, go and do a little day trip up to Rainbow Valley and check that out. And then we're going to come back and grab the van and start heading into Alice. No van on and 130 speed limit. Why not? Hey, why not? got to give it a go at least once. Everyone's been hooning past us when we're towing the van. I want to turn. Now look, we're catching up to a van as well. Now it's my time to shine. Oh dear.
So we've just been called on the UHF. Somebody who we camped with a little while ago, and we were next door neighbours, and then went and watched our YouTube channel, saw us, recognised us, and called us up on the UHF. And I feel a little bit famous.
Yeah, Nigel, Anna, thanks for the shout out on the Stuart Highway. Yeah, we're just cruising along, just in our own little world, and we're here on the radio. Simon and Lizzie on channel, and we're like, what the hell? No one knows us out here. And yeah, it was Nigel and Anna. We camped next to them back at Palm Valley probably a week or so ago. So yeah, thanks for the shout out. And they said they've been watching YouTube as well and loving it. So appreciate the feedback, live feedback. Nothing better than that. So we're just giving the kids a snack before we go on a walk, because it's guaranteed otherwise. The first thing we'll get asked as soon as we get out of here is there any food? I'm hungry.
Dad, your mandarin was the worst.
I always get stitched up when it comes to the fruit distribution. Not the biggest mandarin fan, to be honest. I feel like they're a bit hit and miss. You get a good one, they're good, but I don't know. There's too many rubbish ones. Anyway, the kids love them. It's actually pretty cold this morning. It's overcast. There's the sun hasn't really come out yet. It got pretty fresh last night. The evenings have been cold, which is pretty standard for this time of year. But yeah, these cooler days, it's sort of catching me off guard a little bit. I didn't bring a jumper. The kids have got jackets at least. Why is it that you always remember everything for the kids to keep them happy? They've always got food and water and jumpers and change of clothes and everything they need. And then you get somewhere and you're like, I've got nothing for me. In fact, I'm lucky to even have my shoes on. Because you spend.
You're wearing thongs.
I've got thongs on. Let's go for a wander and see what this Rainbow Valley is all about.
It's saying a long time ago, these mountains were having lava going all down them.
So you'll see at Rainbow Valley there's 4 sort of distinct colours in the sandstone. So the whole thing's made of sandstone, and the basics of it is the darker the sandstone, the more iron and silica content it has, and therefore the harder the rock is. So obviously the more resistant it is to erosion. So back 20 million years ago, this would have all been the dark red sandstone that you can see sort of on the outer capping. And as you go down through the layers, you go to sort of more of an orange, and then a yellow, and then it goes to white. Now the white is where the iron content has completely been bleached out of the sandstone, and it's the softest. But the softest white sandstone is at the bottom of the formation, so it erodes the quickest and the easiest. What that means is that once that erosion has begun, the lower layers erode much quicker and erode away, and then the top collapses down. So there's 2 walks here. There's a 1K'er and a 1.6K'er, both loops, both return walks. So pretty easy. One goes down to, I know it's called the Mushroom Walk. I think there's some bird nests down there, like the mud nests. And then the one we're doing, they say, is the best views of Rainbow Valley. So we'll go check it out. James is getting a bit frustrated.
times longer.
What's going on here?
Focus of a goldfish. This is literally just turn around and go back.
No.
This is the worst walk.
This is a ridiculous walk. This is meant to be the best views of... I thought it actually went into Rainbow Valley, not bloody just walk around a clay pan from a distance where you can see everything you can see from a road. Oh, this is shit. Righto. Anyway.
Does anyone else have a husband who loves walking places where you could just drive to?
Hey, if this walk just goes from here back to the car park, I'm going to be filthy. Hey, Rainbow Valley. Well, the valley's impressive. The land formation's impressive. It's definitely worth coming to see. Either that's one of the worst walks in Australia, or we missed something. But you literally walk away from the valley, up the sand dune to a clay pan, look back at the valley, and then walk back to the car park down the bloody road. You're kidding, are you? That was half an hour of my life wasted. That's our wrap of Rainbow Valley. We're going to head back now to Stuart's Well, pick up our caravan and make the drive back into the metropolis that is Alice Springs. We'll see you there. Well, good morning. We caught up with Brad yesterday. He rode in the Finke race last weekend and he did really well. So he won his class on the bike. As you probably remember, the bike class got cancelled, the return leg. So the bike race was just the first leg on the Sunday. And despite having a few big offs and going off the track a bit, he managed to score himself first in class. So he did really well. I think 37th overall, he said. So he was a little bit disappointed that he didn't get an opportunity to get a bit closer up into the top 20. But at the same time, you know, he was stoked to win his class. So well done, Brad.
Going to the airport this morning to fly back to Canberra and then off to Thredbo for the weekend for my sister's wedding. Which will be exciting, but I'm going to miss these guys a lot. And there's already been a lot of tears this morning from the boys about not having mum for 4 nights, and I'm a bit of a wreck.
There's been a few tears this morning already. Poor old Harrison's a bit upset. His mum's going away for a bit, but the boys and I are just going to have a bit of a boys' weekend, chill out for a bit. So, all right, we're going to jump in the car and go take Liz to the airport, and then I might take the boys, see how they are. If they're a bit upset, I might try and take them for a bit of a special treat somewhere, or go find a cool playground for them to hang out on, and then come back to the park this afternoon. So we'll see what we get up to. We'll check it out. Plane graveyard. When there's a pandemic on and planes stop flying all over the world, you got to store your plane somewhere, don't you? So Alice Springs turns out to be a pretty good spot. Plenty of space and well away from the corrosive environment of being near the coast, and not much rainfall. So they store them out here because they're not going to deteriorate as quickly as if they stored them near the coast or major cities. So there is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of jumbos and 737s and everything just stored out here. A lot of Singapore Airlines, a lot of Cathay Pacific. There's a few Qantas ones out there.
Look at all the planes out your window, James.
Stacks of them. No, we're not allowed. That's the airport inside there. We're not allowed to do that because we're not flying. a free camp and we're tight asses. That's 23 seconds of usable footage there. As you can tell, I've had a shower this morning, so my hair's all gone fluffy. Walking around in your friggin' undies trying to figure out what's going on with your life and where everything went so wrong.